KTAR.com provides this special feature called Pat's Personal Portraits to you on a weekly basis. And they're personal because I ask my guests a lot of questions that you would like to, but can't, even when you meet them. Sometimes because of the fact that they're so personal. But I get to with Jason Schechterle. Hey, welcome.
Thank you very much.
This is the Portrait Show, and we're doing a portrait of you. You know what? Ever since the accident in March of 2001, I've wondered, as we have crossed paths on a number of occasions, the first time you ever saw yourself after the accident. Do you remember the first time?
I do remember. It was late October of 2001. I had my skin grafts on my eyes opened during a surgery. And I woke up from that surgery and I could see light and colors, and it was such a wonderful feeling after being completely blind for as long as I was. And most important to me was to finally get close to a mirror and see what everybody else had been seeing, because I had formed quite a picture in my mind and my curiosity was pretty high.
And the reality relative to what you had imagined?
The reality was as bad as what I had imagined, but it was very calming to finally see it myself and understand, okay, that's me.
Everything different, something's gone.
Yes, everything was completely different. No resemblance to the man I used to be, but I was really at peace with, okay, this is who you are. Still the same person inside, but...
Well, that's how you felt.
Sure.
Did you worry about how your wife was going to feel, or that she was feeling through this whole period of progress? Because she could see you even when you couldn't.
Well, and I tell people still when I give public presentations, share my story, I still to this day don't know what she went through. I was in a coma for 2.5 months. And the day I woke up, I'll never forget how calm and strong her voice was. And there was never a doubt that she wanted me back home and she was going to take care of me no matter what challenges we faced.
What about the first time your kids saw you?
That was a little different. You know, my daughter was 7 at the time. She had a pretty tough time just being intimidated with my appearance, but she was old enough to understand the severity of the fire and the accident. My son, at the time, turned 3 when I was in that coma. Well, he didn't get to see me. He wasn't allowed to come to the hospital. So for 5 months, I was gone. When I came home, he didn't believe that I was his father. That was one of the toughest parts. Because
of the fact that everything in broadcasting, including on the internet, has to be done in kind of digest form. Mm-hmm. Give me the Reader's Digest condensation and share with the audience about the accident that March night, March 26, 2001, so that they know how you went from Jason Schechterle, officer, to Jason Schechterle, inspiring public speaker.
Well, I was a patrol officer with the City of Phoenix Police Department, a dream job of mine from the time I was in high school. My older brother served with the Phoenix Police Department. He just recently retired. And I was on patrol March 26th of 01 on my way to a call, and I was rear-ended by a taxicab who was doing over 100 miles an hour. I have no memories of the accident. A lot of miracles and twists of fate. There was a fire engine sitting in the intersection, witnessed the accident, were able to go to work and do their jobs. I was 2 miles away from one of the best burn centers in the country at Maricopa County Hospital, and they got me there within minutes and were able to save my life.
Touch and go for a long time, though.
Touch and go for many months.
Hey, you know what I've never asked you? What became of the cabbie?
The cab driver, during the investigation, it was learned that he had caused some other accidents. He should not have had his driver's license, no insurance, a lot of different things. He went on trial about a year. He had a passenger in his cab, a lot of people don't know that, who was ejected out of the windshield and severely hurt. The driver was charged with aggravated assault against me and his passenger, and he was sentenced to 12 years in prison. And in September of 2010, just a few months ago, he was released after 10 years.
Do you want to see him again?
You know, I never had any anger or resentment toward him because he wasn't looking to hurt a police officer. He wasn't looking to hurt Jason specifically. And so I've never had any issues with that. He made a lot of bad choices that greatly altered both of our lives. 10 years in prison is a long time, and I've moved on. I've got a beautiful, blessed life, but I have no reason to talk to her.
Okay, but the passenger had kind of a bizarre story. The passenger had just gotten out of jail, right?
He had just gotten out of jail and still wearing Sheriff Joe Arpaio's outfit, and he called the cab because he needed a ride home. It is. It's the irony is.
And he
is
hits
beautiful.
a cop.
And they run into a cop.
Beyond the Flames, talk to us about the organization.
Recently in 2011, started a 501c3 nonprofit foundation called Beyond the Flames, and finally in a position to pay everything forward. The community here, I've always told people one of the luckiest things about my accident was where I lived and where I worked. It's just an incredible community. I was born and raised here, and now after all these years, to be able to raise money and give back to other people who go through life-changing adversities, do a lot of public speaking through the foundation to raise money, and it's just I enjoy the work every day.
If tomorrow somebody said, for free, we will give you one of these new face transplants that they're doing here in France and a number of other countries, would you do it?
No way. Wouldn't even consider it. This
Why?
is my face, and I'm very proud of who I am, how I look, and why I look that way. And I wouldn't want to alter it again. This is what my family and friends and the community know, and this is me.
Yeah, besides that, you've got that new ID card with the Thunderbirds, and you're
Yes.
a new Thunderbird. Do not ever accept an invitation from Jason Schechterle to play golf, particularly for money, because he's a ringer, and he's also been our guest, yours and mine, on KTAR.com and part of Pat's Personal Portraits.